The gavel slammed down like a gunshot in my chest, echoing through the sterile courtroom as the judge's voice cut the air. Mrs. Harlan, your claim for $8.5 million in assets, plus the Harlan family ranch, granted, pending evidence. Elena's lips curled into that triumphant smile I'd once mistaken for love, her manicured fingers drumming the mahogany table. I sat frozen, the world tilting under me. My family's 200-year legacy, acres of sun-bleached earth where my grandfather broke his back, and my father whispered dreams to me under starlit skies, slipping away. How had it come to this? Our vows, whispered in the glow of a Montana sunset, now shattered in fluorescent hell. But as her eyes met mine, cold and unyielding, a flicker of doubt ignited in my gut. Not rage, not yet, just a whisper. What if I've been blind? I replayed the unraveling in my mind like a film reel stuck on loop, starting 6 months back, when the first crack appeared. We'd been married 12 years, Elena and I, a whirlwind romance born in the chaos of my rodeo days. She was the city girl with fire in her veins, trading Manhattan heels for cowboy boots, promising to build a life on the ranch that had been Harlan land since the gold rush. I'd believed her, God help me. That morning, I found her in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, voice low and urgent. No, it's fine, Jack's clueless. Just wire it quick. She hung up as I entered, flashing that radiant smile, but her eyes darted like a spooked mare. Coffee? She asked too brightly. I nodded, forcing a grin, but the unease settled in my bones like autumn frost. Denial wrapped around it soft and warm. She's planning a surprise. Our anniversary's coming. Weeks blurred into a haze of small betrayals, each one a splinter under my skin. The late nights at her consulting job in Billings, her perfume laced with unfamiliar cologne, musky, expensive, not mine. I'd wait up, the ranch house creaking in the wind, staring at the ceiling beams my dad carved with his own hands. Heartbreak crept in then, not as a flood but a slow seep, staining the corners of my thoughts. You're imagining things, Jack. I'd mutter to my reflection in the barn mirror, wiping sweat from a long day mending fences. But suspicion was a stubborn weed, rooting deeper. One evening, I caught her slipping a velvet jewelry box into her purse. Diamonds, the kind that screamed old money, not our bootstraps life. Gift for a client, she said, kissing my cheek, her touch electric yet hollow. I wanted to believe her. Ached to, because the alternative was a void where our love used to be. The anger simmered low at first, masked by the rhythm of ranch life, dawn patrols with the herd, the satisfying crack of axe on oak for winter firewood. But it built, fueled by her growing distance. Dinners turned to monologues, her laughter forced, eyes glazing over my stories of the land. This place is dying, Jack, she snapped one night, fork clattering against her plate. Stuck in the mud while the world's moving on. Her words landed like a slap, reopening wounds from my father's deathbed regrets. How he'd clung to the ranch even as debts mounted. I reached for her hand, voice cracking. We're in this together, Elena. The ranch is us, our future. She pulled away, gaze drifting to the window, where the horizon swallowed the sun. In that moment, trust fractured, a hairline crack widening to a chasm. I lay awake that night, her soft snores beside me a cruel mockery, wondering if the woman I'd pledged my soul to had ever been real. Suspense coiled tighter as clues mounted, each one a breadcrumb leading to an abyss I dreaded. A forgotten receipt in her glove compartment, $2000 at a Billings spa, charged to a card I didn't recognize. Business expense, she explained breezily when I confronted her, but her laugh was brittle, eyes not meeting mine. Denial warred with the growing storm in my chest. I buried myself in work, roping calves until my hands bled, whispering prayers to the empty sky. Then came the calls, late-night whispers from the porch, her silhouette framed by moonlight. I'd eavesdrop from the shadows, heart pounding like thunder. Darling, it's temporary. Once the papers are signed. The voice on the other end was smooth, urbane, laced with promise. Anger flared hot then. A wildfire I tamped down with whiskey and willpower. Who was he? Some silver-tongued lawyer from her past life? The thought twisted like barbed wire in my gut, but I needed proof, not paranoia. Trust wasn't just collapsing, it was being dynamited from within. The divorce papers arrived like a gut punch on a crisp October morning. slapped onto the kitchen table amid the scent of fresh coffee and regret. Elena stood there, arms crossed, chin high. I want out, Jack. The ranch, the money. Everything we've built. It's only fair. Her voice was steel, but her eyes flickered with something. Guilt? Triumph? I scanned the demands. $8.5 million. Every cent from the ranch's undervalued sale. Alimony that would leave me destitute. The family land, deeded to her in our marriage contract? She twisted it somehow, claimed it as joint equity. Fair. I choked out, paper crumpling in my fist. We built this from nothing. You and me, Elena. Remember the blizzards? The lean years? She shrugged, slipping on her coat. That was then. I've outgrown it. As she left, the door's slam echoed my shattering world. Heartbreak crashed over me fully now, raw and unrelenting. Sobs racking my frame on the cold tile floor. How could she? The woman who'd traced my scars with tender fingers, who'd vowed forever under the same roof that now mocked my solitude. Court dates blurred into a nightmare of suits and stares. The ranch my anchor as lawyers circled like vultures. Elena's attorney, a slick fox named Hargrove, painted me as the villain. Distant husband, failing farmer, clinging to nostalgic delusions. She sat poised beside him, nodding, her beauty a weapon honed sharp. Suspicion hardened to resolve. I hired my own counsel, old Tom Riley, who'd known my father. Dig deep, Jack, he advised over bourbon in his dim office. There's always dirt under the glamour. We pored over records late into the nights, my hands trembling as I uncovered threads. Bank transfers to an offshore account, emails hinting at our escape. But the real revelation slithered in quietly. A digital ghost in her abandoned laptop I'd salvaged from the attic. Password cracked with a guess. Our wedding date, ironic as hell. Folders upon folders. Photos of her with him, a silver-haired venture capitalist named Victor Lang. Arms entwined on yachts in the Mediterranean. Love letters, explicit and aching, spanning years. My darling, Jack suspects nothing. The ranch will be ours, sell it off, start fresh. The betrayal hit like a stampede, trampling denial to dust. Anger roared through me, pure and volcanic, as I scrolled through the lies. She'd played me, our marriage a long con for the land's mineral rights, rumors of rare earth deposits beneath our soil, worth millions if exploited. Victor's company had prospected discreetly, her consulting, a facade for sabotage. Emails detailed it. She'd delayed repairs, inflated debts, all to force a sale. He's too sentimental to fight, she'd written. My chest heaved, tears blurring the screen. The weight of 12 years crushing me. Heartbreak wasn't just loss, it was violation, the sacred soil of our bond desecrated. I wanted to scream, to ride into the night until the horse collapsed. But instead, I printed it all. Hands steady now with purpose. Trust. Obliterated. But justice? That I could grasp. The final hearing dawned gray and unforgiving, the courtroom thick with the scent of polished wood and desperation. Elena took the stand, voice honeyed venom. Jack never invested in us emotionally. The ranch is my security, $8.5 million is just. The judge, a stern woman with eyes like winter lakes, leaned forward. Evidence, counselor? Hargrove smirked, unfolding documents. My turn came. Pulse thundering as I approached the bench. Your Honor, one document. I slid the folder across, its contents spilling like spilled blood. The emails, transfers, Victor's investor prospectus eyeing our land for strip mining. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Elena's face drained to ash, her mask cracking. This is forgery, she stammered. But Tom was already cross-examining, voice ablade. Care to explain the timestamps, Mrs. Harlan? Or the IP traces to your office? The judge's gavel hovered, then fell. Not in judgment, but adjournment for verification. But we both knew. As Elena was let out, her eyes locked on mine, pleading now, stripped bare. Jack, please, it wasn't like that. I loved you. The words hung hollow echoes. I turned away, the ranch's deed safe in my pocket, but victory tasted like ash. Love's collapse left scars deeper than any fence wire. A hollow where her laughter used to live. Driving home under a sky bruised purple, the wind whipping through open windows, I pulled over at the ranch gate. The land stretched endless. whispering secrets only I could hear now. Heart mended? No. But whole. In its raw, aching way, yes. Betrayal taught me the ranch wasn't just dirt. It was me, unbreakable. Elena's ghost would fade, but the horizon? It endured, calling me forward. And as the sun dipped low, painting the fields gold, I stepped out, boots sinking into familiar earth, finally free to rebuild what she'd never truly owned. My heart.